Kenya is one of the many African countries that seek to grow her economy by developing a strong manufacturing industry. The country has a lot of potential to produce commodities through various sectors. One area in particular that stands out for its potential is the textile industry. At its peak, the industry directly and indirectly employed hundreds of thousands of Kenyans. This is because it is driven by an elaborate supply chain that begins with a cotton farmer who provides the raw material, the cotton fiber.
Pamba inanisaidia, ninapata pesa ya kusaidia watoto wangu nyumbani na vile ninaweza kulima chakula zile zingine.
The fiber then moves to the ginnery where it is processed. It then moves to the textile milling factory where it goes through an intricate process and is eventually woven into fabric. The fabric then moves to the garment manufacturer where it is made into apparels and garments before it finally arrives at the retailer's store. In the early 90s, because of a number of factors, the industry went through a decline, before eventually collapsing. Most players and companies that were thriving in the industry then had to close down. Just a few remained to brave through the industry's turbulent times. One of these companies is the Thika Cloth Mills Limited.
Things were looking very well in 1980s, and up to some time where in the middle of 1990s, from 94, 95, we had a growth, very significant growth of textile industry, both as parastatals or private-owned farms.
We had at one time having around 2,000 employees, and since 1994, this trade has started declining, and we have been reducing people year after year, year after year. From 2000 at least, now we are having around 550 employees, and they vary according to the demand.
In 80s and mid-90s, we had a lot of members in our union. We had 65,000 members. But it has decreased seriously. Now the union is only having like 10,000 members countrywide. This is because of number one, lack of cotton, which we used to get locally. Number two, cost of electricity very high in our country, and some investors have gone to other countries. If I want to talk about Thika, Thika had like 9 factories. Now we are remaining with only 2.
This industry remains crippled as it is plagued by a number of challenges.
Na umaskini umetukumba tangu kilimo cha pamba kivivie. Na kilififia juu ya mashini zetu zilikuwa zimefungwa, textiles zikafungwa. Sasa tukarudi chini sana kilimo cha pamba, na hiyo ndio imeleta umaskini.
Bei iko chini kabisa. Mwaka uliopita tulinunuliwa shilingi 65, lakini wakati huu ni shilingi 35. Unaona imeshuka sana.
The biggest challenge is the cotton itself, because the farmer, most of the farmers, especially here in Kirinyaga, they went to horticulture farming. Others in Bere, where you could get the cotton, they went to Mira.
Over the years, the various stakeholders in the industry, the government, the investors, and initiatives like CODA have put concerted effort to help revive the industry. These efforts have indeed helped. Farmers have started to plant the crop again.
Watu walikuwa wameenda kwa mazao haya mengine, vile sasa pamba inaonekana inaendelea na kuinuka. Tumerudia ukulima wa pamba.
But the industry is still largely crippled as it faces a lot of impediments at every stage.
The challenges that we are currently facing, they are very severe challenges, and when we start, our cost of power per unit, we think it is very high compared to other regions that within the East African zone.
Power is too expensive, and when we come to doing production, it takes a big portion of our expenses.
That being one, we also have bank interest rates, which in Kenya they are very high, and sometimes they keep on fluctuating. If we have to sustain the cost of production, then we have to have a reliable bank interest rates that once it is negotiated, it is easy for a manufacturer to be able to negotiate his rate of production at the same time his costs. Now the third challenge that we are having, the cost of labor. The cost of labor that we are facing currently is quite high. Every year we have some negotiations that that go on with the unions. At the same time, we have the government keep giving a blanket increase of wages, and to a certain extent, we feel that the manufacturer is not put into the picture when these blanket wage increases are put in.
If the government can subsidize the growth of cotton and reduce the rates of electricity, this will help in the employment of workers into permanent terms. When we negotiate as the union, we get a lot of difficulties in convincing the employer to maybe increase the wages.
Some of these challenges can be countered by having key policy changes and support given to the various stakeholders.
And there is also another major challenge that we are facing in terms of these uncontrolled imports of both new and second-hand fabrics, both in apparels and fabrics that are to be made into apparels. And most of these, when they come, they impact negatively into the industry because they take a big share of the market that we could be supplying.
We are getting a lot of competition from imported raw materials, which are not sometimes of the same quality as the local materials we have, but the prices are lower. So you find that we are not able to effectively compete in the market.
And we would like the government to curb that situation. These people are cheating because they are putting in godowns these textiles and then they are selling in dukas. That is not helping us. It is killing us, and we urge the government to curb down that one.
There is a need to capitalize on the strengths of the industry, including the high quality of produce among other factors.
So far, we know our products are of very high quality and they can compete with any other international products.
Our quality is the best compared to outside because ours will take a duration less 2-3 years, and the outside one can take only 2 to 3 months and it is done.
We are capable of running 150 tons a month in terms of yarn production, and we have the rest of it, nearly 70% is idle capacity, and it is mostly due to the challenges that we have mentioned before. The market, mostly the market. we are capable to produce with those machines because raw materials is there. Only thing that is lacking is the market.
Along with the key policy changes, perhaps the place to start is for the stakeholders, the government and interested parties to become the market that is urgently needed to drive the industry.
If we are to sustain the local investment, we have to come in and say, if we are going to increase the wages, then at the same time we have to give some subsidies for production. Subsidies, they don't have to be direct. We can have subsidies in terms of orders coming. We cannot say that we want affirmative action, but we want local industries to be the source for some of the government institutions that are using our locally produced materials. We want them to be an active player in terms of the slogan that we say, buy Kenya, build Kenya.
So the government should buy Kenyan products. They should encourage government departments to buy garments made from local fabrics. I would like to encourage Kenyans to buy Kenyan so that we can create employment for Kenyan people.
Ningeimiza watu wananchi wanunue vitu vyetu hapa na waache kununua vitu nje ili tuinuke na tunaweza kufaidika sana sisi wenyewe.
The various players in the industry need to lay strategies that will ensure the industry is sustainable and has meaningful, consistent growth.